So I'm going to preface this with, am I missing something here? And follow, am I missing something here with, thank God I can go online and find like-minded people amongst the, how dare you ever hold the parents responsible for anything. They're grieving. They're not responsible in the least little bit. At least according to Sarah Deli, the Orange County Fire Chief or Fire Authority or something or other. Okay? Okay, so your baby dies. Okay? Your year-and-a-half-old baby dies, drowns in a pool when you take your eyes off of her at a neighbor's party. Okay? So you are at least, even if it wasn't intentional, it's still, you're partially responsible. And again, I'm hardly the only one saying this shit. But I went back out to fix my comment and found other things even worse. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the whole concept of GoFundMe set up for people who didn't have money, who suffered personal tragedy or whatever? Or GoFundMe, the initial concept anyway, as far as I know, was not meant for rich people, well-off people, celebrities. And like people are sarcastically saying, I mean, that a GoFundMe page is set up for these relatively well-off people who lost their little girl due to, at least partially, their own fucking negligence. And people are being some people anyway, are being a lot meaner than me. They're saying, you know, because I didn't know this. You find out different things. It's like you're profiting off of your little girl's death. And other people sarcastically said, you know, what are the funeral expenses for a toddler? She died, so how much could it be? But we're dealing with relatively well-off people. Someone even said Bodie Miller's worth $8 million, okay? But my whole thing is, the whole GoFundMe hasn't been around for that long. I remember when it was first it hasn't been around that long. And as far as, Omar, give me my fucking socks. I can't have you ruining my socks. And of course you don't. You have the socks, I had to wash them. I shouldn't have. They have the holes in them because now they're not going to smell. He wants the smelly sock. Anyway, do you get where I'm coming from? So you hear it on Inside Edition, you hear it on World News Tonight. It's a tragedy, it's horrible, okay? But you have these news people saying shit like, the baby somehow wound up in the pool. The baby didn't somehow wind up in the pool, people, okay? If you dig deeper, and just in these cases in general, they're almost always due to some sort of negligence on the part of the adult. Okay? And in this instance, the baby wasn't in the care of someone else. One or both parents were at that friggin' party and took their eyes off the baby. But what really takes the cake is this fire chief, Sarah Deli, whoever he is. I read the article, and what he's saying is like, we've all, you know, there's no negligence involved. It's just an accident. We've all had children get away from us. We've all had children get away from us, so that makes it okay. You know what I mean? So that makes it okay. Someone else wrote, like, we're their only voices, these little kids who, I'm sorry, but we've all had children get away from us is not an excuse. And I've read that there's certain areas where these drowning deaths have increased. You know what I mean? Just because something's not intentional on the part of the caregiver of a young child doesn't mean there's not negligence on the part of that caregiver, be it the parents or someone else taking care of that child, okay? But when I hear shit, first of all, I hear shit like, we've all had children get away from us. You know, this is just a horrible tragedy. As far as I'm concerned, when these things are just written off in a blasé manner as, oh, it's just a horrible tragedy, and the parents are not even, how dare you even remotely, even the tiniest little bit, hold the parents responsible, then that's why these types of tragedies will increase in number. You know what I mean? And you go and read the articles, and in the same article, it says it was only a couple of minutes or several minutes. Big news flash, people. A couple is 2, several is 5 to 7, and a few is 3 to 4. Okay? There was just something on Inside Edition that was saying, calling a few or several or getting those mixed up. But that's the official thing. Huge difference. So, I love all these people, these authorities saying all this crap. Meanwhile, what does the 911 call say? The caller, was that the mom? 911 operator, how long was the baby in the pool? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know is different from a couple of minutes or several minutes. Several minutes is different, far, far different. There's a huge difference between 5 to 7 and 2. Okay? But remember, the baby had to get to the pool. We don't know the circumstances at all. It's under investigation. But we've already have authority. We have the news saying the baby somehow got in the pool. Okay? No, she walked or crawled there when her, you know, her people who were supposed to be protecting her lost track of her at a party. A baby, 19 months old. Basically a year and a half, a baby, okay? She wasn't swimming. She crawled away or walked away if she's walking when nobody was paying attention to her. But there's a big difference between a couple and several. And to be telling me and telling others, like the Sarah Deli guy, whoever he is, like, you know, we've all had children get away, so that makes it okay. And it's okay to not pay close attention to your child, because, hey, these things happen, and we've all had children get away from us. Yeah, most of them don't wind up dead, but if they do, it's not your fault, parents, at all. You know, that's what this guy's saying. And he's not a family member. He's an authority. You know, he's an official. He's the chief, Orange County chief, whatever. This is the kind of shit about life that fascinates me. You know? What did people do before GoFundMe? GoFundMe is supposed to be for poor people. Not supposed to be for everybody, even well-off people. And yet that's what it's turned into. So it's become whatever, you know? I thought that when I heard. I think or maybe I didn't know. And again, the parents can say, well, not our fault, someone else sets up a GoFundMe. Yeah, but people spelled it out. I don't know if I knew there was a GoFundMe or if I went back to fix my comment or to see responses to my comment, because it showed up in my Hotmail, responses. And I was Googling, what's the difference between, you know, when it comes to accidents? Who's responsible when it's young children, like this year and a half, you know, year and a half old, the toddler, just 1.5 years old. When is it viewed as negligence? Or when are parents viewed as criminally responsible? But how dare that chief, that fire chief, or whatever. But then again, we have to remember, we're dealing with a celebrity. We're dealing with an Olympic, you know what I mean? So, And they need a GoFundMe set up. And like someone said, they're going to profit off of the death of their little girl. People were sickened. I'm sorry, well, one person was sickened that they're asking for $40,000. They'll probably get it too. Celebrity. I'm just disgusted with that fire chief person saying, it hasn't even been investigated. We don't know how long. I hope they're able to determine by how much water and how long she was in the pool, right? Will that determine negligence? Somebody was sarcastically wrote, yeah, they're saying just enough time so I don't get in trouble, you know? A couple of minutes. It wasn't a couple minutes, people. I'm telling you, it was not. I'm sorry they lost their little girl, but just because somebody suffers a tragedy doesn't mean you have no right to say that they were partially responsible. You know? GoFundMe set up for $40,000. People are going to have a field day with that one, I betcha. I betcha. I posted a couple comments I'll read to you. I can't read to you responses other people give to my comment or other comments. I can just tell you, I'll sum it up though. There are people saying things that I don't say. I simply say, don't be telling me, Fire Chief Ciradelli or whatever, oh, it's not negligence, it's not anything, it's just a horrible tragedy. We've all had children get away from us. So that's an excuse then for parents at parties or wherever to take their eyes off their young children, and so if they wind up dead, well, you know, these things happen. We've all had it happen with our children. It's not our fault, you know, we can't watch them constantly and whatever. That made me puke. That's what I read last night, and that already made me puke, and I put that in my comment. And then I read more other people's comments. And then, of course, I was sarcastic last night because I was the first person commenting on things and saying, you know, I was sarcastic. I was like, it's not, oh, we're not supposed to say anything. Oh, because somebody wrote, what, did someone get drunk at a party and lose track of their kid? And I sarcastically wrote, we're not supposed to say anything like that. It's not politically correct. How dare you even the tiniest manner cast blame on these grieving parents. That's what people write. They get mad. It hasn't happened on this yet, but I can guarantee you it will. And I also bet you they'll probably raise more than $40,000. Do you know? This was definitely, at least partially, like someone wrote. First we have a child that you lost track of and a non-gated pool. You know, so something like this happens that's definitely was preventable. Beyond a shadow of a doubt was preventable, yet you're going to set up a GoFundMe for $40,000. That makes me puke. That makes me fucking puke. It really does. It makes me puke. But I either didn't realize or I wasn't thinking, but I went back and I read that. Like why does an Olympic star, Olympic whatever, someone said he's worth $8 million, but why do they need a GoFundMe? And other people were really, other person was really cruel and said, talk about profiting off of the death of your kid, you know? Like I said, people went deeper than me. I merely pointed out the fact that a couple and several are different. And the person who called 911, when asked by the 911 operator how long, I don't know. Time goes by very fast. If it's been investigated, but again, we're dealing with, you know. But if it's investigated and it's found that the little girl was in the pool for a significant amount of time, will the parents be held responsible? Will it be viewed as negligence? I don't know. We don't know. Okay? But for people in authority to be saying, "Oh, this isn't negligence. We've all had it's just a horrible accident. We've all had children get away from us, and so that makes it okay." Apparently, according to him, he's the chief fire exec, whatever, Ceradelli of Orange County, and that's what he says. But then the news and World News Tonight Inside Edition, the baby somehow wound up in the pool. Somehow. No one will even dare hint at the possibility of negligence, particularly if we're talking about someone famous, you know. Again, it was parents at a party with their little girl. It wasn't like a caregiver. It was the parents at a party, or one or both parents at a party with the little girl. And the little girl winds up dead. We're just supposed to just feel so bad for the grieving parents, and how dare we even hint at the possibility of negligence, is what some people will say. I can guarantee you there are going to be people, because it's happened with other things. Someone like me writes something rationally, and other people write rational things, and there are people, these people, parents are grieving. Who are you to cast blame? It's a horrible tragedy, it's an and they rip you apart for having the nerve to use the N word, the negligence word. And again, just because it's negligence doesn't mean that it was intentional. Okay? And so I was just curious, what constitutes negligence? Accident versus negligence. Well, how do they determine it? What category it falls under? Who's responsible for drowning deaths? You know? It's like, the fact is, if you lose track of your child, in the same Inside Edition talking about the Bodie Miller thing, Emmeline Miller, little 19-month-old, drowned, little girl. I wrote, even though I don't have kids, you can't take your eyes off a kid for a second. Things can happen to kids other than drowning. The same Inside Edition had this toddler running down the highway, and a police officer went after him and got him before he went into traffic and got killed. So well, how did he get away? He slipped away somehow, right? So if he had been killed by a car, is it just viewed as an accident? We don't know. That's the thing. Sometimes kids do things you don't believe they can do. But other times the parents aren't paying attention. And things can change in a heartbeat. I went and investigated because I was curious, and kids can drown in the smallest amount of water. There are kids who tip over and their head goes in the toilet and they drown. There's this little girl who fell into a grease pit at 3 years old. She fell into some kind of grease pit thing at the ice cream store where she goes and drowned. I guess she was playing with other kids. She's 3 years old and she's just a little girl, and you know, you read that but you don't get, they don't elaborate. I just saw it when I was Googling other shit, you know. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I don't like it when you know, I wasn't born yesterday, and I don't like when Inside Edition and World News Tonight say shit like the baby somehow wound up in the pool. The baby somehow died. Nobody's fault, right? No one's fault. These things happen, right? That's what some people are saying. I think it's sickening, but that's what some people are saying. It's nobody's fault. These things just happen. Kids get away from us all, you know. If you want to have that attitude, then it'll keep happening. Like I said, I went and read, and in some area, they were saying that drowning deaths are on the rise for little young kids. You know, they refer to how many happened this year versus last year, and, you know, like that. And yeah, if no one's ever held responsible, and it's just viewed as a horrible tragedy, even when your little girl gets away from you when you're at a party and not paying attention to her and she dies in the pool. I mean, it's awful. I guarantee you, I go out and read, I'll read replies or whatever, and people will be writing things to me and other people. These parents are suffering enough. They're grieving enough. Why do you have to cast blame? It was an accident. No one can watch kids all the time. It happens. These things happen. I can guarantee you it's people are going to write. I can guarantee you that's what people are going to write. Certain people. But I'm also happy that there are certain people that are going above and beyond even what I'm thinking and commenting, saying, you know. You're going above and beyond it. It's nice to know that you can be thinking shit and saying shit that might not be, you know, what certain people want you to think or say, and other people share your sentiments. It doesn't mean I don't feel bad for the parents, but in these cases, someone's got to be held responsible. It's just, you know, it's a baby. I would think parents would know by now you can't take your eyes off of a fucking baby. First I heard it's a neighbor's pool. I didn't get the details until I went online. Because, you know, the news, they give you snippets and you have no idea. And they say the baby somehow wound up in the pool. But then you hear it's the neighbor's pool. And you're like, oh, was she being watched over there or something? No. One or both of her parents were at a party. One minute they're partying, they're laughing and whatever. Obviously they were doing something that they took their eyes off their baby, and it was the last, you know, you can't take it back. It was the last thing that they would do in regards to that little girl, and that's it. You go from having fun at your party to your little baby's dead because you weren't paying attention to her. You got caught up in whatever. That's all it took. It's sad, it's tragic, but it's not something where you just say, oh, it's a horrible accident and it was unavoidable. Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. Bullshit. If somebody is at fault and crashes into you in a car and your baby dies, that's unavoidable. Okay? If you're at a fucking party and you take your eyes off your kid because you're human or whatever, but unfortunately your kid winds up dead, don't tell me that that was unavoidable or just a horrible tragedy or just an accident. There's some negligence going on there, okay? Even if totally unintentional, but there's still some negligence, and to write it off blasé, oh, these things happen and just a horrible tragedy or an unavoidable, it's bullshit, right? It's total fucking bullshit. I and others are not afraid to call it what it is. Again, wasn't that a good comparison? Car accident. Okay? And you're not at fault. But your little kid dies. That's an unavoidable tragedy. Okay? Not when you take your eyes off your kid and something bad happens to that little kid. You can't call that just an unavoidable tragedy, unavoidable accident.